A trade review over a trade I took on CAD futures. Now we will start with a dollar analysis. I'll show how I use that dollar analysis to trade CAD futures, and then we'll also end with how you could trade this on USD CAD. So the first thing I want you to notice on dollar here is we have a bearish candle 2 closure on the monthly time frame. So that is telling me that I am bearish on this monthly candle. Really, I'm looking at this and asking, is price more likely to reach for its previous month's high or its previous month's low? Considering we are closer to previous month's low, I'm just looking for that previous month's low to take it out. And it also helps we have equal lows right here. So just to add to that context, we have taken out this high. We have expansion into the high, met with expansion out. So blending with those phases of price, this is a reversal. Now right here, do we get a new phase of price? We get a retracement, right? It doesn't expand back higher to make a higher low and make a new higher high. It is a retracement. So then we continue lower. And so I really don't want to see this high taken out as we continue to trade lower, because we'd have a high, a lower high. I want to see a new lower high and a new lower low. So with that, we have opposing candle here. I want to see that being respected, and we have a candle 2 closure. So now I have everything lined up here on the dollar. I have a higher time frame draw on liquidity where I'm looking for the daily chart to trade into these lows. I have a candle 2 closure on the daily. Now the last thing I can do is go down to the hourly chart and confirm that we have a change in the state of delivery in this candle 2. If you notice, we do as price reaches higher and trades lower. If you focus on the bodies here, we have a nice V-shaped reversal to add to that candle 2 closure. Now that I have a bearish bias for dollar, that gives me a bullish bias for foreign currencies. I'm going to want to take a look at these foreign currencies or the currency futures and find a chart that I like. So you see here, we could trade euro into this high. That is valid. We could also take a look at pound with this candle 2 closure and trading it higher. Now, as I scrolled through these, the one that caught my eye was Canadian futures. And that is because of how it has this daily formation. So if you notice, it also took out this low here. It has a nice V-shaped reversal. Price opens, trades into this fair value gap, and then has a candle 2 closure. Now, what's specific about this candle 2 closure? It is an ideal candle 2 closure. It also forms a protected swing here. So now I can look for this next day in candle 3 to trade higher. Where would I want to see this trade into? Previous month's high, and then also our previous month's high. And you can see we have a nice equal highs up here above if we wanted to take swing targets. So from the daily, I dropped down to the hourly to check for the structure. So letting this play ahead, my indicator went and marked out this level. And what I'll do is I'll keep this drawing on the daily chart here. So one thing I want to say is I want to see this daily opposing candle be respected. So what do I mean by that? I can mark out 0.5. I want to see the wick of this next candle formed in the upper half of this area, as well as the upper half of this daily candle. So I know if I move this over here, I want to see the wick formed in this area, which is in that T-spot. So I know I want to see price trade higher. What is my next step? I want to look for protected swings. You can see I have one here as price reaches into a fair value gap and closes over. So what does that do? That protects this low right here. So I have an invalidation if I wanted to take an entry. But what else do I have? I have a new invalidation because we have a new protected swing. Price reaches into this fair value gap and then closes over. So now what do I have? I have price opening up right near an invalidation, so I could look to take a positional entry into this overnight and let this swing into the next day or into the morning to see if it works out or not. Now letting this play, where did I get on side on this trade? Well, I saw price respect this right here. So I went ahead and took an entry right here, put my stop on the protected low, and then I was looking for price to trade into this high here. Now, let's see how this worked out overnight. So here we are into the New York session. This is when I woke up, and what are we at? We're at over 2R. So I was looking to take some partials off here, but what did I notice? We have 3 candles of expansion. This is when we can get a new phase of price. I went and looked at the 30-minute chart here, and I saw that price was consolidating. So what I did was I just set a TP at this high, because if we have a consolidation and price takes the high, that's when we can get a new phase of price and reverse. So letting this play out, I took a TP right here. I entered right in this candle here and exited in this candle here, as you can see on the screen. And I just exited there with right around 2.3R. As you let this play out, you can see it was a pretty good exit. Now, if we zoom back out to the daily chart, if I would have swung this trade, it would have worked out well. But it was a day trade for me. I was just trading the daily range of this daily candle here, which I did rather well. But if I did want to swing it, this is why it's important to align your time frames, is you do get this really nice move higher here as we get an expansion on the monthly candle and you're trading that expansion. If I go back to the hourly chart here, you can see how that area for my entry was respected, and then we do get that breakout of the range or that expansion. So now what if you wanted to trade this same thing, but on USD CAD? Well, you have the same idea, but it's going to be the other way. Since you are bearish on dollar, and it is USD CAD, not CAD USD, it's going to be a bearish setup. So going to USD CAD, it would be the exact same idea. Here we have the candle to closure. We're looking for this to trade lower. And then once again, I'm just looking for those protected swings. Here you can see I have a protected swing. And here we have another protected swing reaching into a fair value gap and then closing below. So price opening up right into an order block. I can look to take that same entry, but my same stop loss, and do I get 2R, right? Well, if I approach it the exact same way, I'd get essentially the exact same results. Now, if I let that continue to play out, it would also get that expansion because if we go back to the daily chart, what is it? It's that daily and monthly expansion candle. So we go and trade into those lows and those targets below. Now, just because I chose to trade this on USD CAD or CAD futures doesn't mean that you couldn't use the same setup on a different asset. For example, if you went ahead and traded this on GBP USD, you had a way better expansion on that day. So I actually did not choose the strongest asset that day. I chose the strongest asset over the next few days, but I could have done better and traded GBP USD here. If we go to the hourly chart, you'll see what I mean. At the same time I entered CAD futures right here, we get this massive expansion on GBP USD. That being said, the structure was a bit better for me on CAD futures